Their lunchboxes might be gathering dust, but that doesn't mean you can't mix it up and serve a unique lunch idea that isn't a PB&J. We've found over 30 great recipes that include tasty rollups, homemade Lunchables, simple bento lunches, and more. Read on for the scrumptious ideas, and expect an empty plate every time. Save this list of fun lunch ideas on Pinterest by just clicking here. Tortilla Pizza. If your kiddo is pizza crazy, check this out, Tortilla Pizza from Christine's Kitchen. It's a more lunchbox-friendly way to pack a pizza pie and pairs great with veggies, too. Cindy McCain is immediately recognized as the widow of the late John McCain, former senator and presidential candidate for the Republican Party in 2008. She's also the mother to Meghan McCain, the TV personality who turned The View into must-see TV once again with her passionate monologues and combative personality, according to Decider. Cindy has lived a mostly private life compared to these two, but always supported husband John throughout the years, even after his death in 2018 from brain cancer. Behind the scenes, however, while her husband played out his political career, Cindy stayed equally busy. Instead of a career in politics, she told The Washington Post, "I think I can be just as effective in other ways." On top of being a mother of 4, she's dedicated her time to several charities. But in the 90s, she almost lost it all. What do you think life is like while married to a presidential candidate? It's time to find out the untold truth of Cindy McCain. Growing up as Cindy Hensley. According to biography, Cindy Lou McCain, née Hensley, was born 1954 in Phoenix, Arizona. She grew up in the Copper State with considerable money coming from her father's successful beer distribution business. Among her childhood fun, McCain was named a rodeo queen in 1968, pet The New York Times, and headed over to the West Coast for school to attend the University of Southern California. There, McCain earned her bachelor's degree in education followed by a master's degree in special education. After finishing school, her father bought her a car, but the young woman ended up wrecking the ride. McCain later told this story at her father's funeral, but left out the detail that it was reportedly a Porsche, which he replaced. To get the how-to, plus lots more, click here. Hummus and pita dippers. Have you heard about this hummus lunch idea from One Lovely Life? It's simple, your kiddo's fave hummus, combined with fresh veggies, pretzels and pita crisps for dunking. No muss, no fuss. Get more info here, along with a free lunch packing cheat sheet printable. Ham and cheddar pinwheels. These pinwheels are pretty as a picture and infinitely customizable to boot. With a Mercedes-Benz, according to the New York Times. With her degrees, biography reports, McCain taught at Agua Fria High School in Avondale, Arizona. But once again, luxury cars were a part of a story. Chelsea's Messy Apron has all the deets on this lunch idea, including how you can give it a boost with lunchbox-friendly ranch dip. Rainbow wrap. Give lunch a colorful twist. Step 1. Make this rainbow wrap from super healthy kids. As reported by the New York Times, she was criticized for driving a fancy car, so her dad allegedly bought her a Volkswagen to drive to school. Cindy McCain's life as an heiress. When most people think of Budweiser, an image of luxury does not come to mind. It's sneakily healthy and so simple that you can make it PDQ on a busy morning. Get the recipe, and more. Here. Ham and cheese freezer sandwiches. 2 words, freezer sandwiches. A taste of madness has struck make-ahead magic with these ham and cheese creations. And yet, Cindy McCain's father, Jim Hensley, built an empire in Arizona thanks to the popular brand after he founded Hensley & Co. Just heat them up in the morning for a quick and easy school lunch that's packed with gooey cheesy goodness. Learn more here. Banana muffin lunchbox. Boring lunches have nothing on this muffin lunch. It's the perfect whole wheat and banana combo and pairs great with a hard-boiled egg for an extra dose of protein. Learn more at Christine's Kitchen. Vegetarian sausage rolls. Ready to roll with it? This recipe from Kitchen Sanctuary is tasty, creative, and your little chefs can get in on the prep. You can even think ahead and freeze your uncooked rolls when you need a quick weekday lunch plan. Get the recipe here. Mini corndog muffins. Got a class clown on your hands? Give their lunch those carnival vibes with this version of a corn dog in muffin form. These bites are good warm or cold and super simple to make. Deep dish mini pizzas. Pizza lovers, rejoice. With this idea from One Little Project, you can have itty-bitty deep dish pizzas that are the perfect size for lunchboxes. Customize with your fave toppings for a truly magical lunch. Get the how to here.
Homemade Kraft Easy Mac and cheese is a surefire win for our kids, which is why we love this take on Easy Mac from Food Fanatic. The best part? It's made entirely in the microwave and comes together in a flash. In 1955 as a beer distributor in Phoenix via NPR. Simply put, Hensley's company bought beer and delivered it to your neighborhood bar. The business model worked, and the company became the third largest Anheuser-Busch distributorship in the country. When Hensley died in 2000, he passed down the company to McCain. This meant owning a business that, in 2007, reportedly earned $370 million in revenue. Click here to grab the recipe. Go-to pesto basil, parmesan and sunflower seeds combine to make this fresh and flavorful nut-free pesto. McCain also owns stock in Anheuser-Busch, plus a family stake in the Arizona Diamondbacks baseball team. Mix it up in pasta, use it as a sandwich spread or make it a yummy dip for veggies. Pizza bites, 2 words, pizza bites. Keep a batch in the freezer, and you'll always have them at the ready. Check out this version by Super Healthy Kids. Grilled cheese roll-up dippers. Food blogger, mom of 3 and regular Today food contributor, Siri Daily is all about making parents' lives a bit easier in the kitchen. Check out the full recipe here for one of the yummiest versions of a grilled cheese we've tried in years. Alphabet veggie soup. Use a thermos and serve up some warm soup for those chilly days. In 2008, executive employees at Hensley & Co. Try this alphabet veggie soup for a lunch they'll love. Ultimate Kiddie Cobb Salad. Pack a salad loaded with goodies, and add a container of dressing on the side. Opened up to the New York Times about McCain's role as chairwoman in the company and alleged lifestyle as an heiress. She crisscrosses the country on the company jet, keeps an accountant on the company payroll to mind her personal finances, drives a company Lexus with MS Bud plates, the publication noted, adding that she defined her role as strategic planning and corporate vision. However, McCain reportedly would rarely be at the offices, and Anheuser-Busch considered her an absentee owner. Yikes. Most damning. These executives claimed that McCain had left scarcely a mark on the company. Family drama for the Hensleys. According to The Washington Post, via the Seattle Times, when Cindy McCain speaks about her childhood, she calls herself an only child. But in reality, she is one of 2 children fathered by Jim Hensley. Try out this Kiddie Cobb salad from Katie Sullivan Morford of Mom's Kitchen Handbook. Breakfast bento: French toast sticks, waffles, mini pancakes, sausages, fresh fruit. Kids love breakfast foods, so why not guarantee they actually eat their lunch with a little morning food in the afternoon? Sweetie pie quesadilla. Cheese is high in protein and popular among the pint-sized eater, which makes it a win-win for a kiddo's lunch. The businessman first married Mary Parks and the two had a daughter, Kathleen Portlesky. We love this sweetie pie quesadilla from the recipe book, best lunchbox ever. Nachos, with black beans. How do you turn lunchtime into a real fiesta? With these easy deconstructed nachos, courtesy of What Lisa Cooks. After they divorced, Hensley married Marguerite Johnson, who herself had a daughter, Dixie Bird, by a previous relationship. Together, Hensley and Johnson welcomed Cindy Hensley in 1954. However, the publication reported that, the half-sisters had little contact growing up and have not spoken since Hensley's funeral in 2000. As part of Jim Hensley's will, he left $10,000 to Portlesky. This idea not only skips the mess of traditional nachos, it can also be thrown together in about 5 minutes. But Cindy received the biggest gift of all when she inherited the multi-million-dollar Hensley & Co. Though the difference in payout likely created animosity between the half-sisters, Portlesky confessed that McCain's comments also hurt. "It's terribly painful," Portlesky revealed. "It is as if she is the real daughter. I am also a real daughter." During John McCain's 2008 campaign to be president, his political camp continued with a similar story. In a statement by the official campaign, it claimed, "Mrs. Get the How to Here. Pinwheel sandwiches. If all your usual bread sandwiches are feeling a little, well, stale, the Pioneer Woman can help." McCain was raised as the only child of Jim and Marguerite Hensley, and there was no familiar relationship with any other sibling. The beginnings of Cindy McCain and John McCain. A young Cindy Hensley joined her parents on a family vacation to Hawaii in 1979. Not only are these pinwheel sandwiches a creative alternative, seriously, the flavor combos are endless, they're also simple enough for kids to make. Plus, they're the perfect size for little lunchboxes. Get inspired here.
Tofu, egg, salad sandwiches. Put these eggless salad wraps on the menu today. Lunchbox Bunch notes that steaming the tofu first brings a firmer, eggy bite. We love how this can be eaten cold, aka made the night before, as a real time saver. Visit Lunchbox Bunch for the full recipe and more yummy vegan eats. Pizza buns. Thanks to simple as that, you can treat little pizza connoisseurs to a creative za lunch that doesn't involve foil-wrapped slices. There, at a military reception, she met a vet who had separated from his wife but was still married. The man in question, of course, was future Senator John McCain. Cindy and John were married the next year in Phoenix, according to biography. These cheesy buns are simple to whip up, kids can even help with the prep work, and they can be tossed in the freezer for those days when you need a lunch or snack ASAP. However, as the Washington Post noted, the romance reportedly started with deception from both parties. John pretended to be younger and Cindy pretended to be older. Get the recipe here. Peanut butter and jelly on a stick. Sometimes a home run lunch isn't about reinventing the wheel. They discovered the 18-year age difference. He was 43, she was 25, when they applied for their marriage license and wed in 1980. It was only a couple years later when John looked to start a career in politics. In 1982, he first ran for a seat in Congress to represent Arizona and, according to the New York Times, John and Cindy worked the district together one door at a time. Since that first year, Cindy always had a role in her husband's elections. Cindy McCain's role as a mother. Though it's an honor to hold a position in the United States Senate, it can also be taxing on family life. Just take this oh-so-clever idea from a whisk and two wands. Cindy McCain and John McCain chose to start a family in their home state of Arizona, rather far from his post in Washington, D.C. According to the Washington Post, the McCains decided to raise their children in Phoenix, treating John's time in Washington as a weekly deployment. The article explained that John returned to the Valley of the Sun almost every weekend and congressional breaks, and the family usually retreated to their beloved ranch, Hidden Valley, near Sedona. In addition to their three biological children, Meghan, Jack, and James McCain, the married couple adopted a daughter named Bridget McCain. It's got all the favorite flavors of the traditional PB&J, but in a kid-friendly kebab form. Luckily for all four children, each have received a percentage of Cindy's family business, Hensley & Co., per the New York Times. However, Meghan has become the most famous as a controversial talk show host for The View. Alternate your sandwich bites with healthy fruit and you're all set for school. As Cindy explained with a laugh in a 2018 interview with CBS This Morning, Meghan is certainly entitled to an. Learn more here. Almond butter and mango sandwich can't quite convince your picky eater to give up her PB&J? For a play on the traditional, we love this sophisticated and nutritious grilled sandwich from Connoisseur's Veg. Speaks her mind, just like her father did. Following the death of their father in 2018, Cindy picked up an additional responsibility for the children. While it's crazy simple to make, it's amazing to munch on, whether wrapped in foil or fresh off the griddle. Monochrome lunch. Sometimes you just need to embrace kid food quirks, like when they get attached to one particular color. This genius idea from the Mom 100 group's great green munchies like pesto pasta, broccoli, and grapes, pissed. If your kid is hooked on a different hue, the Mom 100 also has orange and yellow lunches on her blog. Carrot and hummus sushi sandwiches. We love how this idea, found on the Urban Family blog, incorporates fun flavors and lots of great grated carrot. My job is to make sure they're okay, that's my job, she told USA Today. I have gotten calls in the middle of the night. It's perfect for when you want to amp up your kids' veggie intake or when you want to pack a lunch that looks impressive but takes minutes to make. I've gotten calls from ones I didn't ever think that they would call me. Each situation is different. The darkest days for Cindy McCain. Despite coming from a well-off family and marrying a future political star, Cindy McCain dealt with a few major challenges in life. Learn more here. Homemade Lunchables. Kids love the DIY aspect of Lunchables, go figure, but those unmade lunches can get pricey. Q snap. Specifically, the Washington Post later recounted, she overcame both a mild stroke and a prescription drug addiction. In the 90s, McCain ran a medical charity as one of her philanthropic duties. Eat.
But in 1994, a decade before suffering her stroke, federal investigators probed into the theft of painkillers, and as a result, McCain's addiction to painkillers was exposed, according to the New York Times. Run. Which outlines how to make your own cheaper and healthier version of pizza Lunchables. You only need a few minutes to get these ready, and you can even make them ahead of time and toss them in a school bag on the way out the door. Learn more here. Mini BLT wraps. What do you get when you take the classic BLT and give it a school lunch twist? These bite-sized roll-ups from the girl who ate everything. These are easy to put together and adaptable too, so feel free to get creative with whole wheat tortillas, hummus, sprouts, sliced chicken or whatever else is in the crisper drawer. For her part, McCain explained in an interview that she was going through marriage difficulties, partly from husband John McCain's grueling schedule, which consisted of weekdays in Washington, D.C. and weekends in Arizona. Learn more here. Nut-free crispy chicken tenders teacher, foodie, blogger, and supermom Lexi of Lexi's Clean Kitchen is our hero. She also cited an inability to deal with back pain. As Cindy remembered, "I didn't want my husband to come home to a woman who couldn't function," before claiming that she never told her husband about the back issue because, "I wanted to be the perfect woman in those days." Of her journey toward sobriety and understanding of drug abuse, Cindy later told Access Hollywood, via HuffPost, "I think it made me a better person as well as a better parent, so I think it would be very important to talk about it and be very upfront about it." Cindy McCain's philanthropic duties as an heiress to a vast family fortune, Cindy McCain had the luxury to freely spend her time and choose a career path. She created this paleo-friendly recipe with flaxseed, tapioca flour and a whole lot of flavor for lunchtime. Fortunately, she decided to help others with her access to many resources. Pack a little dipping sauce and handy wipes for the best finger food lunch in the cafeteria. Applewitches think beyond bread. Add a pinch shows how to include savory applewitches in your little one's lunch. As lifelong Arizonians, she and her husband, John McCain, founded the McCain Institute for International Leadership at Arizona State University. In one of her most high-profile roles, Cindy sits as the chair of the Board of Trustees at the Institute. According to McCain Institute, she oversees the organization's focus on advancing character-driven global leadership based on security, economic opportunity, freedom and human dignity. Cindy additionally serves on the board of directors for Project CURE, a nonprofit that delivers medical supplies and equipment to developing nations. Not to mention, she is also on the Leadership Council for Too Small to Fail, a childhood development initiative by the Clinton Foundation. Even though Cindy serves in several high-profile philanthropic roles, she's not afraid to go on the front line to help others. For example, she's traveled to Vietnam to help the charity, Operation Smile. The filling ingredients include cheddar cheese and peanut butter, but if your kid's school is a peanut-free zone, you can always sub in other kinds of nut butter. Get the scoop here. Easy soba noodles talk about using your noodle. This idea from hip foodie mom can be whipped up quickly in the morning and features tasty Asian flavors, think low-sodium soy sauce, sesame oil, and more. It's great for kids who are tired of the old sandwich route, and great for those who have mini lunch containers, too. Get all the tasty details here. Cucumber and cream cheese. Sammy blogger Catherine McCord always has simple and fun ideas to please even the pickiest eaters. Cindy always scrubs and goes into the operating room, development director Vonnie Ray told NPR in 2008, explaining that Cindy was very, very hands-on with comforting the parents who are anxious, and perhaps shows them pictures of her own daughter. The McCain's adopted daughter, Bridget, was born with a severe cleft palate, and was later treated for her condition. Cindy McCain uses her power to help others. According to her Twitter bio, Cindy McCain is a self-proclaimed humanitarian. These sandwiches from Weelicious Channel Tea Party fare and are a total hit when it comes to school lunches. Just make sure to stash a cold pack in those lunch bags so the cream cheese can stay cool all morning. Learn more here. Abigail Matsumoto related stories. 100+ alternatives to PB&J. 15 healthy lunches to make again and again. Lunchboxes we love. For The Washington Post, however, of all her human rights projects, none has captivated Cindy quite like the issue of human trafficking. She claims her passion to protect came as the result of a trip to India.
While in the country, Cindy entered a shop to buy a gift for her youngest daughter, Bridget, who the McCains adopted from Bangladesh. In the store, she spotted children who were probably for sale, according to locals. "I walked out of there and got on my nice airplane, came to my nice house with my nice family, and I didn't do anything," she remembered, adding, "It haunted me." From that moment, Cindy dedicated considerable time and resources, remaining relentless in her quest to put a stop to human trafficking. In one of Cindy's most high-profile roles, she chairs the McCain Institute's Human Trafficking Advisory Council. Through her work with the McCain Institute, several partnerships have been formed with anti-trafficking organizations working on solving various aspects of the problem, reads her McCain Institute biography. In addition, she is the co-chair of the Human Trafficking Council for Arizona's governor. Cindy McCain's life after John McCain. Sadly, the height of Cindy McCain's public recognition came at the expense of the news that her husband, John McCain, had died in 2018. The longtime senator received a funeral fitting for his lifelong service to the United States, first as a member of the Navy and later as a politician. Cindy was left to begin a different life away from her soulmate. To her credit, she didn't appear to slow down one bit. Her schedule consisted of flights around the world for speeches in New York, Switzerland, Germany. All on top of her role as chair of the Board of Trustees at the McCain Institute in Washington, D.C. The last thing that John would have wanted me to do was just to sit here alone and cry, and mind you, I've had my moments, Cindy explained to the Washington Post. One thing he taught me, among so many things, was the importance of getting back up, the importance of keeping doing what you've been doing. I've been doing these things all along. I think the reason people are noticing now is because he's gone. For all her extraordinary efforts, Cindy earned 3 honors in 2019. She received 2 honorary degrees, one from George Washington University via Today, the other from the University of Southern California via USC News. Perhaps most incredible was when the Arizona Women's Hall of Fame inducted Cindy as a member. The McCain and Biden family friendship discussions can become heated on the Senate floor, which was especially true for talks between longtime Republican Senator John McCain and Democratic Senator Joe Biden. But once a day at the office finished, these two took off their metaphorical boxing gloves, and their families formed an unlikely bipartisan friendship. It was Jill Biden that was really pushing John to come over and meet me, introduce himself to me, Cindy McCain revealed of her real-life meet-cute to Politico. I'm so grateful he did, and I'm grateful she did that, because afterwards, Jill and Joe Biden and my husband and I were such good friends. The families remained close, even through John's battle with brain cancer. Cindy gratefully explained that, during the long struggle and the heartbreak after John's death, former Vice President Biden remained a remarkable source of inspiration, kindness, and just a shoulder. She reiterated that sentiment in a 2019 tweet, calling Biden a wonderful man and dear friend, but clarified, I have no intention of getting involved in presidential politics. Though not an endorsement for Biden's 2020 presidential candidacy, Cindy helped out with a video for the 2020 Democratic National Convention. In a tweet, she noted the over 30-year friendship between John and Biden, writing, I was honored to accept the invitation from the Biden campaign to participate in a video celebrating their relationship. In the video clip, Cindy remembered the two men would just sit and joke. It was like a comedy show sometimes to watch the two of them. What does Cindy McCain think about Donald Trump? As Donald Trump started his presidential campaign, he naturally attacked Democratic contenders and others in the party. More surprisingly, or perhaps not, he also turned to throwing negative comments at members of the Republican Party. For example, Trump talked about John McCain's military past in 2015. Many people considered McCain a war hero as a former prisoner of war. But Trump was unimpressed by McCain's experience, saying, because he was captured. I like people who weren't captured, per the Chicago Tribune. When McCain passed away in 2018, the White House lowered the American flag to half-staff in honor of the fallen politician. But after just 2 days, the flag returned to fully raised. After public outcry, the White House flags were again lowered, but the president reportedly wasn't invited to McCain's funeral. In an interview with BBC News, Cindy McCain revealed her feelings about Trump's words regarding her late husband.
I thought it was inappropriate and wrong, she said of Trump claiming the former senator was not a war hero. Noting that the comment hurt her, she added that, it hurt the family too. In a 2019 story by Politico, Cindy further clarified her feelings about the Republican Party as it existed under President Trump. That's not the party that my husband and I belonged to. Cindy McCain became a cocktail queen with the heartbreak that came from the passing of John McCain in 2018. Cindy McCain dealt with another unprecedented event 2 years later. She, like much of the world, had to isolate and lock down as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to her Instagram page, the widow literally kept her spirits high by mixing up cocktails. She posted, almost daily, different, quarantine cocktails, complete with recipes and excellent photographs, from classic cocktails like Palomas to Insta-friendly pink, frozen watermelon margaritas to a scorpion in a Death Star tiki bowl to the delight of Star Wars fans. Maybe Cindy will make a future recipe book out of her delightful quarantine cocktail creations. Her followers certainly seem to be asking for it. Meanwhile, Cindy adorably used her cocktail series to pay tribute to John and provide insight to their long relationship. Posting a snapshot of a dirty martini using a specific ingredient, she wrote, "Elix was my husband's only vodka he would drink. Here's to you, Johnny. How much is Cindy McCain worth?" As previously mentioned, after Cindy McCain's father, Jim Hensley, passed away in 2000, he passed along his life's work. Specifically, the company he founded, which had turned into one of the biggest beer distributors in the United States, Hensley & Co. According to the New York Times, Cindy McCain received a controlling 34% share of a company with net profits estimated at more than $5 million a year, as of 2008. Per the Hensley & Co. website, the company acquired Golden Eagle Distributors in 2016, turning the business into the largest beer distributor in Arizona, representing approximately $600 million in sales revenue. Thus, based largely from her majority stake in Hensley & Co., McCain's net worth was estimated to be $300 million in 2020, according to Celebrity Net Worth. With her large inheritance and continued stream of income, McCain has used her money for philanthropic purposes, but also to buy several homes. Using slick techniques and keeping tight lips, the exact number of homes that she's purchased is unknown. However, according to Zillow, somewhere between 6 and 11 homes are under holding companies or trusts controlled by Cindy.